Test, test, test. Okay. That's working for me. It's not working for you, though, is it? No. Because that would be far too easy. There we go. Okay, cool. Right. Hello, everybody. There we go. Right. So, as I was trying to explain, thank you guys for informing me. That was genuinely very useful. We've got various bits of news specifically surrounding Eduard Spertsyan. So I'm going to start with we're going to go chronologically. I'm going to start with a thing that happened a couple of weeks back. Autism. Thank you very much, Barry. Very probably yes, according to a psychiatrist who diagnosed me with ADHD, but let's not get into that one right now. But we're going to start with what happened a couple of weeks back, where his agent had an interview that not very many people sort of picked up on, and go through up until where we are right this very second, because he played very, very recently, and we need to sort of dive into all of that. But the place that I'm going to start when it comes to the conversation around Eduard Spertsyan was the fact that his agent had an interview a couple of weeks back when he was the recipient of a bid from Southampton. That bid ended up somewhere in the region of 18 to 20 million euros, which is roughly what we can expect to spend, but there were reasons that that wasn't accepted. We'll get into that in a little bit of time, and that'll all be completely fine. So, let's find the most important bits. There we go. So, when asked about the main complication about Spertsyan leaving Krasnodar the first time to go to Southampton, his agent responded, it seemed like they didn't want to let him leave from the start. They were determined he wouldn't leave until there was an offer from Southampton. What does Eduard want? The same thing he's wanted throughout the transfer window, to go and play in Europe. So he's wanted to go for, according to his agent, 3 years, which is fair enough. After a war starts in the country that you're playing in, you would probably want to make a move. When asked about the chances of a deal around the Southampton thing, his agent said it was 50-50. He said he'd be very disappointed if it couldn't happen, and he specifically said if he hadn't wanted to go, he wouldn't have said in a post-match interview against Dinamo, which is another team that they played against in their domestic league, that he was going to speak to Galitsky. Galitsky is a very sort of important figure in this conversation. He's the owner of the club, therefore the person who decides whether or not Eduard Spertsyan goes. I will get into Galitsky once I've covered this specific interview. Specifically, the agent also said that Southampton's advantage is that they're a big club that's played in the Premier League. Their transfer value is more than twice that of Krasnodar. It's the sixth strongest league, and the general idea is Galitsky is someone who has a little bit of an image problem when it comes to sort of the world of Russian football, because that kind of makes sense. It's Russian football, and the people that own the clubs are likely to be a little bit oligarchical, including on the side of sanctions. We'll dive into the sanctions thing in a few minutes' time. Which isn't necessarily ideal, but his entire image issue is he doesn't want to be seen to sell to a club that isn't significantly bigger than Krasnodar, which is why, according to the source that I've been talking to, Leeds have a potentially good shout of signing Eduard Spertsyan, because Southampton, not Premier League, Leeds, Premier League, he feels like he can sell that a little bit better to the fan base. That's the gist. Where's the next bit that I was looking for? He also said, it's why I don't understand Krasnodar's motivation for not letting him leave. They said if an offer came in at the end of the window, Edo, being Eduard Spertsyan, would choose. According to my information, the management also promised that if an offer suited both club and player, they'd let him go. For the past 3 years, Southampton made big offers for Spertsyan. He will be disappointed if he doesn't move this time. And then he said that if he's unable to leave in this window, he very probably won't be able to move after this window because he'll be getting on a bit. And interestingly, this is one that isn't too widely reported, aside from via the source that I've been having conversations with. His contract doesn't actually end next year, which everyone has been reporting because that's all of the information that's out there. His contract ends in 2029 rather than 2026, and this answers Pierre's question as well, with Pierre asking does he have an exit clause. He had an exit clause. As far as I can tell, what happened was this contract extension kicked in from 2026 to 2029 in order to remove his exit clause, which was around sort of 15 million euros, I believe. And therefore, in theory, that would make things better for Krasnodar because they would be able to demand a slightly higher fee. And he still had a promise from their ownership that he would be allowed to leave. Obviously, that promise has not yet been fulfilled, but if Leeds go in, the belief very, very firmly is that we would be able to get that one done, which is quite an interesting one. Then we need to dive a little bit further into the sanctiony stuff, because a lot of people look at this move and they go, well, if there's sanctions, how do we get it done? The note that a lot of people have seen is that Wilson Isidore, currently at Sunderland, was playing at Zenit St. Petersburg before that. The way that they were able to work it was that they signed him on loan first, which meant that Sunderland paid like none of the wages during that period, because if they were to do so, they would effectively be giving money to a Russian body, which is not allowed under sanctions, and the fee that they paid went into a holding account, and that holding account will release at the end of the sanctions period. So there is a way that you can sign players from Russia. It's not an easy way to do it, and it's not the most sort of clean cut, get it done way, but there is a simple enough route to signing a player that is over in Russia. Again, I'm just going to make a very, very quick note, right? Everyone is looking at the guy and being like, he's a Russian, he's Armenian. The number of people that are looking at that being like, I don't want to sign a war criminal. Again, he's Armenian. And if you look at history, Armenians have a tendency to not be on the right end of war crimes. Is there a right end of war crimes? I don't think so. But effectively, he's not the problem here. So making a move for him would not be a problem here. He isn't Russian. Anyway, beyond all the Russianness and the non-Russianness, we have to get to today, to what seems to have been cracking off around Eduard Spertsyan on the 31st of August, the day before the end of the transfer window. And a lot of people will have noticed, and a lot of people have sort of discussed the fact that he played for Krasnodar today. This is absolutely true. There is no denying this fact, because it is a fact that he did play for Krasnodar. Specifically, he did fairly well from what I was able to see. It's one of those where I wasn't able to watch the match in the slightest, because obviously TV rights to the Russian Premier League haven't sold in the United Kingdom for quite some time, for very obvious reasons. And the only place in Europe that I believe you can watch it outside of Russia is Croatia, and as much as I tried, it's quite hard to get Croatian TV in the UK. But in terms of performance, he did pretty damn well. Got an assist, and then the centre forward got sent off. He got an assist specifically from a corner, which is very, very nice. He's a very, very good set piece taker, and it pushes his numbers for the season up even higher. If I just click on Eduard Spertsyan, give us the numbers for what he's done this season. I don't want the right now numbers, I just want the statistics. There we go. So far this season, he's been in the team of the week 3 times out of 7 appearances. In terms of attacking, he's scored 4 and he's got 8 assists. The guy is absolutely ridiculous. He is a very, 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 very good footballer. And if we don't make this move, or at least put in the effort to get this move done, I think we'll have made a very big mistake. But all of that put to one side, is he actually going to be making the move to Leeds? Is there any sign that he's potentially going to be switching sides? And this is where things get a little bit interesting, because I've been talking to someone who was keeping a little bit of an eye on the match throughout. And not only was he their captain for it, which makes sense, like he's a very, very good player, plays in the middle of the park, and he's got strong leadership qualities, so him being their captain makes a hell of a lot of sense. But the idea was, if you are down to 10 men against someone that is fighting you for the title, and your captain is on the pitch, structuring a defence and making everything a little bit neater and tidier, you'd think that you keep them on to the end. However, taken off in the 94th minute, whilst doing so, he was given the whole sort of like applause. It looked like he was saying farewell to the away fans, and now a lot of Krasnodar fans are saying that that's the end. That's him done. That was Spertsyan's last game for Krasnodar, which is good, I believe. That tells me that he's very much going to be on the move. That tells me that after a hell of a long time, we're getting into the position where Spertsyan is going to be able to get that move. He's going to break free from that grasp of Galitsky that seems to be discussed. with basically everywhere that I've seen, I've tried to find as many sources as possible that are looking into sort of like the Armenian side of it. And a lot of Armenian football fans will look at Spertsyan and go, yeah, he kind of needs to be free, and he is unable to be that way because he's just being held onto and effectively like against his will kind of vibes. So if he's able to break free with that promise being followed through with by that Russian leadership, fantastic. And I would love to see him at Leeds United because the qualities that he's shown are frankly ridiculous. Excellent corner taker. We need one of those. Free kick taker. Could do with one of those. Plays in the higher up end of the pitch, causes a hell of a lot of problems for other sides, and I'll be honest, 12 goal involvements in 7 matches is fantastic. In terms of the finances, I made a mistake last time. Isn't able to move completely on a free. That's not going to happen because I hadn't quite read the fine print of the Annex 7 of the... What's the thing called again? I know it's the RSTP. The regulation on the status and transfer of players. There we go. Didn't read that quite thoroughly enough in the footnotes and all that. He had to have given notice at the start of August. Didn't do so. But in terms of how we get the deal done, as mentioned, you can put the money into that holding account. 18 to 20 million euros seems like what it'd take to get it done. And reputationally, we are in a better position than Southampton right now. So their owner is also likely to follow through with it, which would be absolutely fantastic. And I hope that that goes. Is Russian League any good? I would say it's fairly damn solid, yeah. It's still got a lot of very good footballers within it. Admittedly, they're struggling to sort of make big moves and sell big players. But it's one of those situations where it's not a bad league in the slightest, and 12 goals and assists in any league is going to be pretty damn good. Ellenbach, we very clearly do have 18 to 20 million, considering that we aimed to sign various other players for more than that. That's not going to be a problem. On that, Anthony saying, can you sign a player with email? Do they have to be in the signing country? They don't have to be in the country. You can do like e-signatures and stuff like that as an alternative, which means that it's pretty good. If only certain for him is your Prem standard player. In recent years, there have been other sides very much in for him, and in recent days, there were other sides in for him as well. So, Southampton made a move a few weeks back, but that one didn't happen, again, because of the reputational thing. Lens were in for him, who play in Ligue 1, which, admittedly, is a decent standard, but they weren't willing to pay as much, and in recent years, Ajax have fancied him, I think at one point Juve fancied him, and various other Serie A clubs. So he's definitely a good player, and he's definitely got a lot of potential. It does sound very complicated. I do agree with that. It's not going to be one that is incredibly easy to get done, but it's one that I think if we do get it done, we will absolutely see the benefit, and we'll see the benefit very, very, very quickly. So you think we'll spend that in the final day of the window? I can only see loans myself. I don't see that being the situation. I will be completely honest with you. And no, I wouldn't forsake Avtanaka. I think that's a little bit of a jump. What's our chances? He's a good set piece taker and goal scorer assist king. Right. Everything that I've seen around the situation at the moment, and I'm not saying that this is 100% on or this is 100% off or anything, because that would be stupid of me. But everything that I have seen says that he is set for an exit from the club that he's at, Krasnodar. And we are the club that has the interest in him at the minute. That is everything that makes sense at the moment is pointing in that sort of direction. It is potentially going to be fairly difficult to get done because we've got just over 24 hours to get it done. But in a conversation that I had the other day, I say the other day, it wasn't the other day, it was earlier today. It's been a long day. In a conversation that I had earlier, there were a couple of people saying that there have been negotiations ongoing for a little bit now. So it's not exactly like we're just jumping in completely raw today to get it done. The various processes that need to be followed will have been followed. And I have a genuine feeling that we'll get it. Sounds good. Is that from a reputable source? It is from a very, very, very good source. It's from a source that I know for a fact has direct access to the player's agent. Which ain't half bad, and I've also been talking to someone. In fact, I'll follow that one up. So this one might take a little bit of a while to get a reply on. I'm trying to work out how to phrase this. I wouldn't say ITK. I'm saying that I've been asking the right people the right questions over the past, like, day and a half. And it seems to have been going quite well. We do need to. I think we do need to. I think we need someone that plays on the inside as a 10, and I think Spertsyan fits that profile absolutely perfectly. And I think we need someone that plays on the right flank. He did play today. Yes, we covered that a few minutes back, but it's fairly easy to play one day and then move the other, to be completely honest with you. That's not going to be the biggest problem here. Yeah, I think getting out of Russia is probably going to be a good thing for him. So we'll see. I'm going to very quickly go through what the plan is going to be for tomorrow's streams, by the way, because I'm not 1000% sure on the timings, but the plan is to do a very, very, very long stream throughout the vast majority of the day. As it goes, we'll do various bits of jet washing, because if we see any jets, we must wash. We'll do various bits of just having a little bit of a chat, covering all of the various bits of transfer news from absolutely everywhere, and we will see where we land. I'll try and have a video out in the morning if I've got any more information about all of this stuff. And yeah, the entire situation is very, very interesting at the minute, essentially. O'Shea to the Premier League. Ooh, very nice. O'Shea in the mix too. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel on the O'Shea thing. Can't see me doing much work. I mean, I'm in a lucky enough spot where I can effectively sort of call this work. So I'm going to take it whilst I can. We'll see. Good, Joe. You had a poll. Can't let down the subscribers. I know I'm doing a long one. That's fine. Wait. Phrasing. Will you and Joe be on stream tomorrow? Collab? I don't know yet. I might do something collaborative, but I've not got anything specifically planned. I will probably try, but I don't think Leeds get any more in by tomorrow. That feels like a very, very negative view. I think we definitely do. I think it would be a big surprise. Hold on. O'Shea to Brighton? Really? That one doesn't quite seem like a move that I would expect. But also, whilst you're here, subscribe and like and all that fun stuff. I'm really bad at doing the shilling stuff. But it's on 87 likes at the minute. If that could tick over 100, that'd be fantastic. Demirovic isn't an option. I absolutely agree, because I think Demirovic would be an incredibly hard move to get done, with Voltemade having moved away from Stuttgart very, very recently. But I'm not going to stream for too long right now, because I have work starting in 8 minutes, and I could do with having something to nibble on before that. That'd be absolutely spectacular. Uche no towards 2 clubs apparently in us and Palace. That'd be fun. 24 hours to go. I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. That'd be a bit nuts. But I'm going to go for, I don't know, might be like 11. And I'll finish very, very, very shortly after 7. Because at 7:35, I'm doing some goalkeeping. So that should be quite fun. Anyway. Very tired. Don't be surprised if Calvin comes. I don't think Calvin will return. I'll be honest with you. Sorry, I have been messaged by a Russian man a moment ago, so I need to respond to that. To be clear, journalistic Russian man, not like a Russian man. You can't just scream no marquee signing because you don't recognise any of the names. It's fine. You don't need to spend £40 million for a player to be good. The fact of the matter is, I think our midfield outplayed Newcastle's midfield, but it was 10 times cheaper. Which is on-pitch evidence that you don't just need the big numbers to have happened. Any loan options? I don't know. Not that I've really seen. Can we rule out Sargent? I, again, don't know. I don't think we're in the market for Sargent. But we'll have to find out. Hold on. I'll just reply to Russian man. Cool. This rate love MI6 at your door. No, it's fine. It's only the one Russian. And he's on Twitter. So, like, a Russian on Twitter is fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. I like that we're teaching me Russian just to make sure that I won't get like shot by the Russian man. That's quite nice. Anyway, he's a quite nice Russian. It doesn't matter. Anyway, if anyone has any questions or anything, I'm gonna stick about for another, we'll say 2-ish minutes. That's fine. That'll give me time to get something to nibble. Yeah. So we're rushing the transfer. Very nice. Anyway, I'll do a couple of questiony bits if anyone has any like curiosities going on, and that'd be nice. Maybe my mum can be translator if she speaks Russian. Oh, maybe. But how's her Armenian? That's the question. Better than TikTok. I would hope this is better than TikTok. I put effort in and all that. Anyone watching WWE? Yes, I am. But don't tell work, because it's going to be on in the background. Do we think we'll try for Bakwa? I think the perfect combo right now would be Spertsyan and Bakwa. But I think the likelihood of Spertsyan at the moment is 66-34 towards. I think we probably get that done. I hope we get it done, because he's a very, very good player. But anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to keep talking to my new Russian friend, and I'm going to see if I can learn anything else ahead of tomorrow, and then many stream tomorrow. That's going to be good fun. Well, I say many stream, one big stream. I might do multiple videos out of that stream, so that should be all good. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and I will be seeing you all later. Toodaloo, amigos.